Bobcat Cherry podcast.
Before we get into the legend of the bluebonnet, we have to look at the seed of a bluebonnet. This is a tiny seed with a hard coat around it, shaped like a modern bean-like seed but produced in pods. These seeds are different because they require what's called scarification. You have to break the seed coat to germinate. It's a stubborn seed. The coat is so thick that the water can't get into it. To grow, that seed often needs to be scraped by rocks or tumbled in floods or scorched by even the sun. It needs the struggle to finally wake up to be one of the most precious beauties in our landscape. This flower only thrives because it survived a trial. They weren't the only ones going through trials, though. The Comanche faced the collapse of their nomadic way of life as they battled devastating diseases, systematic destruction of the buffalo, and a relentless military pressure that ultimately forced them from their vast ancestral lands and on to reservations. When all these calamities were taking place, something mystical took place, but it required a great sacrifice. This is the legend of the bluebonnet. During a summer spell in the deep south, the heat was tangible, feeling like a heavy, hot blanket that you couldn't throw off yourself. The smell that was being blown around was of baked clay and dead grass. Their skin felt like 2 sizes too small, cracked and itchy. This was the great drought. There was not a soul around that wasn't provoked and broken by this lack of water. In their camp, the air seemed to have a taste of copper. The buffalo had already vanished, leaving them nothing but bleached ribs poking out of the dirt like little white fingers. The children stopped crying a long time ago. They didn't even have the moisture left for any tears. Their eyes were sunken in, following the vultures circling overhead. Among them was a girl named She Who Is Alone. Every time she moved, her joints felt like they had sand in them. She lived in the silence of a teepee that used to be full of laughter. Her parents were already gone, and all she had left was her little buckskin doll. The buckskin at this point had become greasy and soft from years of her small hands gripping it. It smelled of old wood smoke. But the feathers, those feathers were the miracle. They were the brilliant, iridescent blue of the blue jay. They felt like cool silk against her soft, dusty cheek. To her, those feathers were the only sky that wasn't trying to kill her. In desperation, the elders gathered in a circle outside their tents. You could hear the rasp of their voices, dry as sandpaper. They looked at their medicine bags full of sacred stones and eagle bones, but the power seemed to have evaporated with the rivers. The shaman of the camp stood up. His voice was more of a whisper, whistling through his teeth. The Great Spirit is silent because we have stopped giving, he said. We have taken the grass, the buffalo, and the water, but we offer nothing in return. We must burn our most precious possession and scatter the remains to the 4 winds. A cool chill ran down their spines despite the 100-degree night. A warrior clutched his bow, the one that had fed his family for almost a decade. A mother gripped her baited shawl. Everyone looked at their neighbor, hoping they would be the one to step forward. She Who Is Alone stood in the dark towards the back, listening to the old man's decree. She looked at her doll's blue feathers. She felt the weight of it in her arms. Less than a pound, but heavier than the world. She knew what must be done. At midnight, she climbed the hill. She felt the sharp rocks poking through her thin moccasins and the sweat trickling down her neck, stinging the dust-caked skin. She strikes the flint. The first flame licks at the dry twigs. She takes a deep breath and held the doll one last time. She kissed the blue feathers and dropped it into the heart of the orange glow. The smell around her changed. The scent of burning leather and singed feathers fills the air. A thick, bitter smell pierced her nostrils. She watched the blue feathers curl into tiny, glowing embers, and she reached into the cooling ash while it was still hot, stinging her fingertips. Grabbed the ash and threw it into the wind, north, south, east, and west. Gray ash on a black night. She woke up to the sound of the earth drinking. She opened her eyes and the brown world was gone. Where the ash had landed, the earth was carpeted in a shimmering electric blue. Millions of flowers, each with a tiny white top, like a puff of smoke from a spirit fire. The tribe didn't just see flowers, they saw their survival. The girl was no longer she who was alone. She became the heart of the people. As we close, I want you to think about your own life. We all have a blue feathered doll. Every one of us. Something we hold on to so tightly because it's all we have left of the good times. The bluebonnet only exists because someone was brave enough to let go of something they loved. In John 3:16, it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, and that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life." The Father gave up what he loved for us, someone he also loved. Love is sacrifice, and this little girl saw a need and met it with unselfishness. The next time you see those fields of blue, don't just take a picture. Take a breath, smell the sweetness in the air, and remember the bitterness as well. The most beautiful things in this world are often grown from the ashes of what we loved most. I'm Zach Hansen, and this is Bobcat Cherry.